So how fucking cool is it that I've got this behind me? Pretty awesome, I know. Welcome to another video. I am basically going to do Genesis Vision today. I was asked this a while ago on my Twitter. I put a tweet out about 3-4 weeks ago. What should I review? Put it on my Twitter. A lot of people came up with Genesis Vision. A lot of people liked it, retweeted it, and wanted it. And I was like, yeah, cool, I'll do it. Haven't got around to doing it until today. I do apologise for the delay, but it kind of is a good time for Genesis Vision. I will go into it in more detail. Obviously, I've got the whole video thing playing behind me, which is pretty cool. But ultimately, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you do like my videos. I am very much forward thinking in terms of how I review things. I don't like to go too technical. I just like to do the bare basics and basically say whether it's good or bad. I will say one thing, Genesis Vision is a very good coin already. It solves an actual problem, an issue within the trust of brokers and actually fund management of investments. So I like that. So yeah, it's a good one. But we are going to go into it in more detail, and I hope that I do give you some good information. And please only use my information as cross-reference check. Do not take my word for it, and I am not a financial advisor. I am also not an investor in Genesis Vision. I want to get that clear as well. I don't invest in coins higher than a certain price, and $27 is too much. I know people will probably slate me for that, but that is just my MO in sort of investing. I don't go too high. But in terms of the metrics then, one of the things about this coin that I do enjoy is that it has a very good low circulating supply, and those tokens will be used, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail in a bit. But let's get to it. So Genesis Vision, what on earth is it? It's essentially an area of which we have a lack of trust. So if you go on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and you get all these pitches and everyone coming to you going, oh, I'll invest, yeah, shit, basically. So basically what they're saying is they will invest in cryptocurrencies or forex assets or whatever, stock market, for you for a fee, and they basically invest for you. So lack of transparency is already hidden there already. So you don't fully know what is happening, so you don't know what they're betting on. You don't know what they're actually doing for trades and trading fees and how the results are. You just kind of like, here's my Bitcoin, fucking go make it grow, and that's it. It's like, oh shit. So this is essentially going to make the trust there and have a bit of honesty. So in terms of the platform, pretty cool. In terms of how it will do, this is kind of it. The first platform for private trust management market built on the blockchain technology and smart contracts. So essentially what that means is a combination of exchanges, traders and investors in a decentralized, open, honest network, making the financial market even more global. So it's kind of trying to solve the problem of honesty and having traders and investors working together to kind of combat their issues that they do have in terms of giving their money to someone else to do it for them. So it's good in that way, but it's also very improving. It needs to work, and once the platform is out and it does work, this will probably do incredibly well, because one thing I do want to mention as well is, where is it? Here. So in terms of how it does work, it kind of is a platform, and I mentioned before that the tokens are used, and the tokens will be used for the use of this platform. So it is a utility token, and I've already mentioned below that the supply is fucking ridiculously low. So it is a very volatile market in terms of volume. So it will go very, very fast and will go down very fast. But ultimately, if you buy in low and stick with it, because I will go through the roadmap as well, because I do like this project, it's pretty cool. It will do very well in terms of value. So it will hold the value, because that volume will be consistent if there's a number of users using it at a consistent rate, which is always good for cryptocurrencies. So where are we with roadmap then? I know I've kind of glanced over a bit of it here, but I'll go back into it. That's a lot of jargon. But the one thing that people say to me is investment is, how long do I hold for? Usually the roadmap indicates that, and you want to kind of get an idea. And we are only here, and I've already seen on Twitter there's a lot of buzz for it. There's a lot of like launch control fucking buzzes for it, and it does look very, very exciting. And I follow people who are very into Genesis Vision. They're holding a lot of it, and I'll be honest with you, they have a good reason to, because the roadmap is a good one. I stupidly traded Genesis Vision a while back. I got a massive profit in game, but I also missed the rebounds back into it. So bit of a novice mode for me when I was doing my trades back in the end of November time. So it's one of those, isn't it? It's just you miss the boat sometimes. And ultimately slipped out my radar and it's came back in now at a higher price, but I do back this project. I think it will do very well. So alpha is happening in the next 15, 14 days, 2 weeks time, roughly, give or take. Then you got beta, and then version 1, version 2. So the thing that you got to look for is essentially how long should you be holding for in terms of the blockchain related. This is the kind of the main thing that you want. You want this. The rest of it is pretty good. Yes, obviously exchanges and yeah, cool. But the whole reason why this will work is due to the nature of what it will be and how it will work on blockchain, decentralized, and generating that trust and smart contracts. That's the main thing, and you don't really care much about the other stuff in terms of how it does work. You want the main bulk of it to work and work well. And these are starting to come out. First one, alpha, coming out soon. But essentially what you need to worry about in terms of projects like this is how long you need to hold for. The true vision of Genesis Vision will be released in terms of value will be about 2020. So if you can hold on till then and see where you are, I think you'll be doing pretty well, because I do think this is a good one. Coin supply is very, very low, as I've mentioned, which is pretty cool. But again, it has a clear and concise kind of roadmap, which a lot of projects do not have. And I want to make that pretty clear that some projects have about 3 things on the roadmap and that's it. This has got a number of things. So obviously the blockchain is probably the most important part of it. Then you got the integration of where it will actually work and where it will be. Bank integration is pretty huge if that happens. Clients, obviously, very, very similar to usage of people. So it will expand as things go forward. So there'll be more and more people will be using it, such as mobile beta will be pretty handy. And obviously back office of brokers in 2019, massive. And then you got marketing. To be honest with you, marketing doesn't always matter because people always channel it anyway. So it's always a good thing to have people who are backing it, and they do. So here's the GVT tokens I mentioned. So obviously it will be used. All investment operations, profit distributions will be done by the price of GVT, creating a fuck ton of that demand. So it's going to be an interesting project to see where it goes with the amount of supply. Could this be a 4-figure coin in the future? Probably, but don't take my word for it. It needs a lot of, obviously it needs a lot of people to do that. It needs a platform to work like effortlessly and works perfectly for people to use it and to develop that trust and honesty. But the amount of tokens it is and the amount of usage that will be, so considering it will be traded internally, it will create a demand, and that demand will always pump up the price. It's one of those natural things. In terms of the team, this guy here, pretty awesome. He was actually, bear with me, if this works, we'll see. Naturally, I do like to look at everyone's LinkedIn, but not really on every single review. But I want to highlight one thing. This guy's got a lot of things going for him because he was a principal software developer for the St. Petersburg Stock Exchange. So that is massive experience to have. So he's already got very, very good experience. And he's also got experience within the Ethereum network as well. So pretty good person to have as a CEO. All the other guys are pretty good as well. I've not fully looked into them deeply, but they do have all their LinkedIn profiles on there, so you can do your own research in your own time. In terms of this then, Charlie Shrem, he needs no introduction. We all know who he is. Very, very good advisor and always has been a very good backer of Genesis Vision, so he's usually a good one to have in your team. Naturally, you have other kind of experience within other industries. So you've got a lot of obviously fund management sort of expertise there. You've got news organisations, you've got all kinds within the financial district, which is good, handy to have. So the one thing that I did brush over before was kind of the technical jargon, because I don't tend to do a lot of that. But here are the security audit reports, which are kind of helpful to have. Good for transparency and proof of work, which you need. And again, basic kind of thing of how it will work. And there's plenty of videos online, but I do think this is going to be a tremendous opportunity for people to get involved in. Unfortunately for me, it's probably too high, but again, I don't know. We'll see what happens over the next alpha launch. I'm hoping it does dip further. I know that's selfish to say that. I want more people to get involved in this because I think it is a good project, but I do think it will not go below $20 again. I know during the mini dippage we had, I call it a mini dip, a severe dip, around this time, it did go below $10, so about $8, which is massively low compared to now. So it has recovered incredibly well. It's got that proof of, volume, 15 million kind of over the 24 hours, which is good. But again, this has no product, and the product is out in the next couple of weeks, and that is where we'll start to see the tester of this product. So that is Genesis Vision in my honest opinion. I think it is a very good opportunity to get involved in. I do think the price is, depending on your MO of investing, if you fancy getting involved in coins that high. So it's essentially like getting into Neo before it actually really boomed due to the supply. So I do think it will do incredibly well. So it all depends on you. So I hope you liked it. Hit the like button if you do like this video, and obviously I will bring more coin reviews in the future.